Pitt at Connecticut, Thursday night ESPN football. Typically, Marco, I turn to you, but I'm going to take the lead on this one. I'm giving the projection. Pitt is underrated. This team, Vegas in their rankings, their power rankings, has Pitt the 20th best team in the country. AP has them 33rd. So a 13-spot difference with Pitt. AP's not, they're not even in the list. They're down there in the other votes. 33rd against 20th. So on one hand, I'm going to have a lot of trouble going against Pitt because they're so, it's, situationally, whatever, they're underrated to the degree it's going to be hard to think there's value going against them. But with Connecticut, they got a good coach. This has been a disappointing year starting with that Michigan loss. But they do well. They seem to get up for these Thursday games and these Friday games. And they've covered 7 of 8 as a home dog. So I think you've got a Pitt team that's underrated. You've got a Connecticut team in a good spot. And again, anytime you look at these Thursday games, well, let me just say this. So I actually have an opinion on the total, but I've kind of monologued here. Give us what you see as one or two of the key handicapping points.
For the reason Pitt's flying under the radar is because they have 3 losses. Anytime you look at a team with 3 losses, you don't give them any respect. But we always talk about goals. Pitt controls their own destiny for what had to be the goal for this season. They weren't going to win a national championship. Their goal was to get to a BCS Bowl. And the plan is perfect right now. They're undefeated in Big East play. They control their own destiny all the way out. So you're going to get a focused Pitt club. The problem is we got Coach Wannstedt. And Dave Wannstedt's been a coach that through his career.
That's funny. The problem is the coach.
Well, we've talked about situations with, I'll bring up Jim Tressel with Ohio State. Dave Wannstedt, kind of the same breed. When he gets to these big games, he has a tendency to coach not to lose instead of coaching to win. And it lets teams hang around, and it's dangerous with laying points with Dave Wannstedt. So that's the concern that you got to have here. And you already gave the stat about how good Connecticut is as a home dog, and they've already shown this season in a similar situation against West Virginia that they could, pull off the upset at home. So that's why right now I'm on the fence because I got things that support Pitt, but I got things that support Connecticut as well.
And you're off. I mean, you spent 47 years,
46 years in
Pittsburgh, and you're connected when it comes to the Steelers, when it comes even to the Pirates. You still connected with the Pirates?
I try to disconnect, but I can't.
and then the Pitt, basketball and football. Yeah. So we'll be looking for. We're taping on Wednesday. I'll be looking forward to your opinion on this. I actually like the under. And it's a pretty kind of old school handicap. You've got a Pitt team that's really motivated. You've got a good home team. If anything, that home crowd helps you on defense more than it helps you on offense. And because the best you can ever be is quiet. So on offense, it's fine. They're quiet, which is cool. But Pitt's going to have, potentially trouble with the crowd on offense. I like the under here. I think there's real value. In fact, I'm going to make a official projection. 24-20 Pitt, so right around the number, but clearly towards the under, right around the number on the side. Now, one thing I want to get in the habit of with our videos is whenever it's a Thursday game or Friday game, let's look at the scheduling. Is we really want to understand what it means, and we talked about in your best bet in the Baltimore-Atlanta game is that Baltimore played Sunday, they're on the road Thursday. That's the worst possible scenario. Here, neither team played last Saturday. So the Thursday night scheduling effect, I think, is pretty neutral.
Absolutely. And you'll find in the college football, RJ, as we go through the season, most of the college teams do schedule their bye week before a Thursday game.
But not always.
Always.
That's why we're here.
That's why.
Anything to close?
Nothing to close on this game. The Pitt offense, I will say this much. They've got a new identity the last few weeks. They've had trouble running the football this year, which has been their bread and butter in the past, and the quarterback's been playing at a better level. They've scored 106 points in their last 3 games, and they got the passing game working a little bit right now. So that might open up the running game for them because teams can't stack the box.
Now it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comments section with Marco and me. And next up, we're moving to Friday, and we're looking at Boise State at Idaho.